Not everyone is created equal. It is the first line of My Hero Academia, and one of the defining struggles for two of its current popular characters, Deku and Mirio. With the new season wrapping up in such an impactful way for both of these boys, it seems like everywhere, and I mean everywhere, the same topic is getting discussed. Which of these two would have made the better protagonist? I mean, it's not really surprising. This season, Mirio has proven to be one of the best characters in the show, and I personally count him as one of my favorites. After seeing him in action, he has everything that a hero needs. He has great judgment, plenty of charisma, and of course, it is not a far stretch to say at all that everything that makes All Might such a great symbol of peace, Mirio has shown as well in this last arc. And I think that's why everybody is thinking this. I mean, Aizawa himself said that out of everybody in the hero world, not just in UA but the pros as well, he's probably the closest person who fits the ideal that All Might left behind, the closest person to being that number one. I mean, hell, Night Eye tells this to Deku's face. For sure, Mirio is currently the better contender for All for One. And that's why this argument is so frickin' perfect, because it is exactly what Horikoshi was aiming for. Mirio's greatest role in the series is to be that ideal. He is a parallel to Deku, but he is one that shines far brighter. So yeah, if you are taking everything at face value, then Mirio is the far better choice to inherit One for All and become the next successor. But does that mean that he would make the better protagonist? I don't think so. At least not for the story that Horikoshi himself seems to want to tell. While their stories are definitely similar, with both of them wanting to be heroes and having huge obstacles to overcome to achieve it, if there is one thing that defines their differences, it is their strength of will. Mirio's spirit is absolutely indomitable. We see this countless times through the arc. I mean, from his childhood to losing his quirk and even the death of Night Eye in the more recent episodes, because no matter what obstacle he faces, he is still a million at the end of the day, and he has the strength to overcome these challenges. He is able to keep pushing forward with unyielding determination, and it's what makes him such a great character. While in the past he might have lacked the power, he's always had the disposition needed to become a true hero. Deku, on the other hand? Now, Deku's different. Unlike Mirio, he is riddled with self-doubt. I see a lot of people complaining about how Deku is a crybaby, and that he's too emotional, and while other people might consider these a bad trait, for me it is exactly what makes Deku a really great protagonist. To me, hero has always been a story about following your dreams and becoming who you want to be. Anybody with a big dream has probably been told at some point that it's impossible, that they should give up and face reality. Everyone's felt that same self-doubt that Deku's felt, and questioned whether they can truly change who they are. The reason I love Deku as a protagonist is because I can relate to him. He's not the best choice to inherit All for One, but that's kind of the point. Even through the bad hand that Deku had dealt to him, and with all his insecurities, All Might saw the potential that he had, and he chose to believe in him when nobody else would. He has a long way to go to reach Mirio's level, but he learns from every experience, and takes in the lessons that the people around him teach. While all the training that Mirio had to do was mostly physical, Deku has had to rebuild himself on an emotional level as well, and learn what it really means to have the disposition that will allow him to become a hero. And that growth is what makes me feel so proud when I see how far Deku's come. When I get to see him rescue Eri, and when I get to see him go 100% infinite. That hype wouldn't be the same unless I'd seen how he was before, unless I'd seen what a crybaby he'd been, or the ridicule and bullying he faced, or his self-doubt. All of that adds to the pride that I feel in Deku now. And if Bakugo is the image of strength that Deku has inside him, it might not be too far a stretch to say that Mirio is becoming that image of mental fortitude and determination, and that it's a role I think Mirio fits perfectly in the series. Deku doesn't really cry anymore. I mean, nowhere near as much as he did at the start of the series. He is becoming more confident in his abilities after every triumph he has, and I think that fits the ideals of hero perfectly. It's a story that your value isn't determined by your circumstance, that it's not determined by what the other people around you say, and that everyone has the potential to change themselves. That as long as you keep trying, anybody can become the hero that they want to be.